What up, y'all? Today I'm gonna introduce my new car and explain why and how I've had 10 cars and 3 bikes in the last 5 years. So this is my new to me 2005 CTS-V. If you don't know this car, it's a sedan version of the Corvette basically. It's a total grandpa car, a huge switch up from my Altezza. This is all about being lightweight. It's kind of like rev happy, punchy, right? Like handling. This thing is more of like a boat. It has that American charm of a big old V8, rear wheel drive, manual, and fast in a straight line. This is gonna be super fun to own. I was pleasantly surprised when I got it. I thought it was completely stock, but I found out it has a Corsa exhaust and a cold air intake. So that was like such a great surprise. All just Corvette stuff translated over into a sedan and the luxury of a Cadillac. This is not my first Cadillac. I'm not just a JDM person and I'm not just an American car person. I love everything. I just got this today, which is April 2025, but I want to take y'all back and explain all the cars I've had because it's been a journey leading up to this. I want to answer the question of like, how do you get cars like this? Because for me, being able to afford this stuff was mainly through flipping cars and then just working jobs throughout the years. It kind of just stacks and adds up. My very first car I got in 2020. That was 5 years ago in November. And it was a 1999 Prelude Type SH. So side note, if you're doing math here, I'm 22 years old, but I only got my license when I was 18. Because I wasn't born in this country, blah, blah, blah. Story for a different day. But even before I turned 18, I actually bought this car. So before I had a license and before I even knew how to drive a manual, I bought this 1999 Prelude. This was definitely a first car. You know, it was rusty, it was old, had problems, high mileage, but like, as an enthusiast car, it was super cool. Preludes are pretty rare. I was able to snag this beauty for $2,700. So that was just a couple years of working at the grocery store to be able to get my first car. This was definitely my car enthusiast canon event car. I feel like everybody goes through a rice phase where they completely modify their car in the wrong ways and then you look back on it and you're like, oh my gosh, what the heck was that? I feel like this thing is pretty tastefully done because like I didn't really mod it at all. This thing of course is pretty bone stock, but again, the mods are just like a Corsa exhaust. Everything that's done to each of these cars are kind of like period correct and the right parts manufacturer that is associated with this car, you know? But that is definitely not how I started out. My first Prelude, I did normal stuff like putting a new radio in and wheels and whatnot. One of my big regrets with this car, I don't know why I did this at all, but I got a quick release steering wheel. Yes, I know, something I look at pretty cringy now. Like, of course a quick release is applicable, you know, if you have a race car or something, of course they have their purpose, but I had a 25-year-old Honda. I had no reason to have a quick release. I gotta admit, it was pretty fun to install, wire up a horn. I didn't know how to do any of that stuff, so when I looked back at it after like a year, and especially now, like a few years later, I was just like, wow, that was so cringe. I don't know why I did that. The second canon event, black wheels. I don't know what it is. Black wheels don't really work with a lot of stuff. It's kind of like only a few things that it would work well with. I feel like silver wheels just are the gold standard. That's what you go with. It gets worse. It's not just like a gloss black. I went to this powder coating place. I was like, you know, I want new wheels, but I want to stay cheap and keep the OEM look, so I'll just powder coat the wheels. Then they showed me a whole wall of all the colors they could do, and I was like, oh, this is a great idea, a glitter black. Bruh. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking, but for some reason I had them powder coated in this like glittery metallic black. I mean, from like 40 feet away, I have some pictures where it looks pretty cool, you know, whole car blacked out, but like, come on, bro, what was I doing? I learned how to drive a manual on that car. I learned how to do things like changing my oil, changing my brakes, so it was a canon event in a good way too. That car, the exhaust fell off. There's a lot of stuff I could get into. I hit a whole deer with it and rebuilt it. I'm glad that I'm where I'm at now. In September of 2021, I picked up a 2002 Cadillac SLS from my friend for a whopping $900. Thank you to my homie who hooked me up with a cheap car when I really needed it. That car definitely had its flaws. Anyone who knows anything about Cadillac in the early 2000s knows North Star. This SLS Cadillac that I had, Had great features. It was really luxurious inside. North Star is the company who makes the drivetrain for this car, and it's a transversely mounted V8 that's front wheel drive. One of the weirdest things I've ever had. It had brakes that the pads flew off of while I was driving. So this is the one pad. Yeah, looking pretty good. Oh, the other pad? Nah, that just fell off. Yeah, it's the pad delete for weight reduction. Like, straight out of like a comedy movie, what was wrong with this thing, bro? The whole subframe was completely rusted out. I'm talking like where it's literally just like a metal piece supposed to be connected, it was straight up like breaking in half, the whole subframe. It was bad. That thing eventually blew up too. Got rid of it. Then the one that got away in December of 2021, I got a 1998 Acura Integra 4-door. It had a swapped engine. It was this tuned B15 from a Del Sol. I actually love this car, but I had to get rid of it within like a week or two because I went to go register the car and I needed to pass emissions. Because the body of the car is a 1998, it needs to follow emission standards of like OBD2 cars, but it had a swapped engine from like 94 or 95, you know, something like that. It had a Honda ECU and like a conversion back to OBD1. So I couldn't even plug it in for a scanner. I couldn't do anything. I could not do emissions, so I couldn't even register the car, which was a huge shame because I actually really liked that thing. In January of 2022, I got a 1998 CR-V. You might be thinking like, oh, that's not an enthusiast car. It's kind of just like a normal daily. Yes, but I got it in a manual. It was the coolest thing. I think it was a B18 or B20 engine, but it had a 5-speed manual and it was all-wheel drive. SUVs are definitely not my thing, so I was glad to switch it up. This is where things start overlapping because I have multiple cars at a time and motorcycles. In April of 2022, I got my first bike, which was a 2017 Ninja 400, but I really needed more power. Every single motorcycle is actually a manual transmission. There's no automatic bike. You have to shift with your foot and you clutch in with your hands. If you know how to drive manual cars like I already did, riding was super easy, so I was really underwhelmed with the power of the 400. I sold that the next month. I think in like a week and a half I sold it and got a 2007 Ninja 600. It's basically a rocket ship that you can get for like $5,000 or less. It's insane. Then in May of 2022, my CR-V blew up. At this time, I only had my bike, so I was able to still get around, get to school if I needed to, you know, just using my bike, but I needed a car. In July of 2022, I traded my Ninja 600 for a 2001 Prelude. I took a 2-hour bike ride with my friend, which was super fun and memorable. Shout out Dylan, we got pulled over on the way back, but I actually got this car by trading my bike for it. It was great condition, it was actually like really clean, but just for a Prelude, like bro, they're not worth that much. He had it listed at 8K, I was like, sure, whatever. Traded my bike for like 6K and then like 2K cash, right? I did the cringiest thing, bro. A few days later, I was like, bro, I definitely overpaid by a lot. That was crazy. I should not have put cash on top. And I actually messaged him back. I was like, bro, please, can I get some money back, bro? Yeah, don't do that. Just learn from your mistakes. Obviously, he didn't give me any money back. He just laughed at me. But we up now. Then, mind you, at this time, I now have a Prelude and no bike, but I do have a CR-V that's just broken, chilling in some lot somewhere. But to my surprise, somebody traded me a working, running vehicle for my non-running CR-V. A Honda all-wheel drive system is definitely valuable. Somebody wanted that car and they actually traded me a completely running, working 1994 Chevy S10. Just traded the non-running CR-V for a fully functioning, pristine S10. Now this was in August of 2022. I got my first ever truck. Not a truck guy at all. Some dude just happened to give it to me for that car for free. Straight up trade. That thing was completely rusted out. It had 300,000 miles, but it was a manual, so it was super fun. We could just do whatever we wanted. This is when I got my 2009 Ninja 600. So this is my second ZX6R. But this one was completely modified, 2 years newer. It looked amazing, sounded amazing, shot flames. It was everything I wanted in a bike. It was so fast to me at the time. It was amazing. But this is the bike that I actually crashed. I'll probably do like a whole story time of its own of crashing my bike. I'll say this much, I'm lucky to be walking and talking and here right now because it was a nasty crash. My finger is like bent sideways. I got a huge scar on my knee and on my other ankle, so please ride safe. My next car was a 1998 Audi A4. This thing I got from my friend for like $3,000. It was super fun. It was a manual and it was a V6. That one ended up blowing up as well. Then in July of 2023, I got a 1999 Prelude. The engine from a Prelude is a H series H22, but this car actually had it swapped with the Japanese version of the H series, the H23 blue top. I forgot what it came in. I think an Accord SIR, I think. Something really funny happened with this car. The whole exhaust fell off one day while I was driving. But the funny part is that this actually happened before. On my very first Prelude, my entire exhaust also fell off. I don't know if this is a Prelude thing, but yeah, on 2 different Preludes, completely different cars, I had my exhaust straight up fall off the car. On that most recent Prelude I had, I actually went to King Motorsports. They're the only authorized Mugen dealer in the whole country. It's a super sick Honda shop. I actually had them do a full system exhaust for my car. Headers all the way back, but that car actually had this like aftermarket lightweight flywheel, and that thing blew up as well. Then in October of 2023, this isn't a new car I got or anything, but this was a very pivotal moment for me, especially in my like car and bike journey. But as a person, I actually lost my friend who crashed his bike and passed away. You can still go watch his videos. He helped me first get into camera and content making stuff and taught me how to do all that. Taught me a lot of aspects of how to ride a motorcycle. He was just an amazing friend and a great father to his child. Please ride safe, drive safe. This is a dangerous hobby that we car and bike enthusiasts have, and make sure to enjoy all those moments with your friends while you have them. After selling that Prelude, I actually got like a pretty good amount of money for it. It was a nice car. This is when I finally get into the JDM world and get my Altezza. So I actually didn't have a car for like a few months. I really researched long and hard trying to find the right car from Japan. In July 2024, Tiki Bunny and I found this Altezza, which looking back, this is a crazy spec that we were able to get. Great car, still one of the lowest mileage ones in the US I've seen, and I just couldn't be more happy with my ownership experience. I won't really go into depth about this car because I have tons of videos on this car already on my channel, so go check out my Instagram and my YouTube, both DFY_media. What's the dog doing? This brings me to my last car. Oh my gosh, his paws are wet. Yeah, this brings me to my last car, which is this 2005 CTS-V. What's up, bro? Sit. Okay. Yeah, nope. Again, I'm not really gonna go too in depth about this car because I'm gonna be making content with just this car, explaining the whole thing for the next few weeks, you know, next few months that I own it. I'll probably be selling this car. Everybody's asking like, bro, why are you selling it? It's so nice, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's just time to move on. I mean, I kind of made this video to explain that exact reason of like, I just love switching up my cars. I love buying new stuff. I love upgrading and seeing, you know, different manufacturers. I really don't have a preference of like just German, Italian, Swedish. I don't know about Korean cars, but you know, American, Japanese, I like it all. But yeah, this is the latest car. It's so fun to drive. It's just like the smooth, like linear, just power of the naturally aspirated V8 is just amazing. But more content to come on this soon, so stay tuned for that. We'll see what I get next. For now, it's time to just enjoy this car for a while. If I could afford both of these, I definitely would have both and maintain both. When I can afford a collection of cars, I'll definitely have that, but while I can only afford one at a time, I definitely like switching it up, trying new things, staying fresh. And that was my car journey and where I'm at today. And be on the lookout for more videos that I make with this V.